back to Open Sports Page. I'm Sid Rosenberg, and joining us right now, live from California, one of the all-time greats, one of the greatest running backs in the history of the National Football League, and I can say that, and I'm a Giant fan, is all-time 49er great Roger Craig. Roger, good afternoon, buddy. How are you?
Doing great, Sid. Doing great, man. Hey, thanks for having me on your show.
Well, let me thank you for coming here to Open Sports, the genius that is Mike Levy, and the terrific job that he's done here to get this thing going. I know you're involved in Tackle the Pros, Roger. Mike's put together a pretty good roster of big-time players. I'm sure you'll be happy working with some of those guys.
Unbelievable, the team that we have. You know, John Elway, Marcus Allen, Marshall Faulk, Jason Sehorn, Jonathan Ogden, Rodney Peete. It's just a great team that he assimilated. And I'm pretty sure he's going to have some more down the road.
No, I'm sure he is, and getting you was certainly a big deal. You know, as I said, Roger, growing up a New York Giant fan, and really became a very big football fan in the 80s, and so many classic battles between the 49ers and the Giants. Now, 9 times out of 10, you got us. I admit that. And you were
they
one
got
of
us, too. I mean,
yeah, we got you.
They got me a few times.
Yeah, they got you late in your career. But for the most part, you guys had the better end of that. And I guess, Roger, when you take the field every Sunday with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, you guys are going to win most of the time. Isn't that fair to say?
Well, you know, 9 out of 10, yeah, we have a better chance to win because we have those great players. But you know, the Giants gave us a lot of fits, and the guys I hated going up against was Harry Carson and Lawrence Taylor. Those two guys, man, used to eat my lunch. So I really, I mean, after playing the Giants, man, I was bruised up pretty bad. And speaking of Harry Carson, I hope Harry gets the union job that for Gene Upshaw, bless his soul. He's such a great leader for the union, but I think Harry Carson will do a great job of leading you know, the retired guys and the current players in the right direction.
That is fair. Again, talking to one of the all-time greats, Roger Craig here, who is involved with Tackle the Pros on Open Sports. Hey, Roger, I know that it's a fantasy game, obviously, Tackle the Pros, and I go back to your season in 1985 when you became the first back ever to get over 100 yards on the ground and 100 yards catching out of the backfield. Only Marshall Faulk has done that since. So for fantasy football players, you really set a very high standard, Roger, back in 1985.
Well, you know, I took pride in just being a complete back. You know, I wanted to be able to do a lot of different things. And in our offense, the West Coast offense, I had to do those things if we want to win. I mean, if I were to rush for 200 yards a game or 100, whatever, you know, we wasn't going to win. I had to catch at least 8 to 10 passes to keep the chains moving so we can keep our drives alive. So I understand what my roles were. And being in the West Coast offense, you have to know what your roles are because you have to give up a lot of things. You got to do a lot of different things, not just catch the ball, run the ball, but you have to block. And play action faking was a huge part of our offense. And Joe Montana and I would practice every day on, you know, selling that fake so we can get the safety out of alignment so Jerry Rice or John Taylor could catch those slant passes and take it to the house.
Yeah, and while you talk about, you know, all you guys that did all that, you and Jerry and Joe and Taylor and Brent Jones, you talked about the passing of Upshaw a couple of weeks ago. Last year, Bill Walsh passed away, and he, of course, was the innovator of that offense. I'm sure to this day, Roger, that still has to hurt you guys very much that Bill passed away.
Yeah, it really hurt us really. I mean, hurt a lot of people, not just football world, but I mean, Bill was just an amazing man. I mean, as far as, you know, Stanford University, I mean, he did so many wonderful things. You know, he helped orchestrate building that new stadium there. Bill touched a lot of communities, you know, and I was by him through the whole sickness and through his last days, you know. I mean, I was right there, and you know, and he was just an amazing man, you know. He was so organized. He was organized as a coach, and he organized his life on his deathbed. It was unbelievable, you know. He had, you know, and his spirits were great. You know, and he was upbeat every day, and even though some days he felt bad, but he still, you know, would smile and make you laugh. You know, that's the kind of guy Bill Walsh was, and I miss him dearly. You know, he was a good friend of mine, and he was more than a coach to me. He was like a father figure, and anytime I had any problems, we found a way to work it out.
Two more we'll let you run here. Roger Craig again here on Open Sports page. Roger, T.O. now second to Jerry Rice in touchdowns. He went past Chris Carter with his great performance against the Philadelphia Eagles last Monday night. And I know you have an appreciation for today's players, LaDainian Tomlinson running the football, Brian Westbrook. What about T.O.? What are your thoughts on Owens?
T.O. is an amazing athlete, man. I'll tell you, man, for a guy, for his size, to keep doing what he's doing is so impressive and so amazing. Wherever he goes, this guy finds a way to win. So, I mean, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. He put up great numbers with the Niners, put up great numbers with Philadelphia, and now he's doing the same with the Cowboys. And he just changed the game. He's into his body. He works out. He's a well-conditioned athlete. I have all the good things to say about this guy. The only thing he can kind of tone down is maybe the end zone dance and stuff like that. But other than that, T.O.'s the man.
All right, that's fair. Last one we'll let you run. You played your collegiate football on Saturdays, Roger, at Nebraska, when pretty good football teams back then. You were there with Tom Osborne and kind of that era when they, the Turner Gill, the Mike Rozier, all those great football players, and he left and Solich came aboard, then Bill Callahan came aboard. Now I know it's Bo Pelini, but it's been a disaster in Nebraska for the last couple of years. When do you expect that thing to turn around?
The fans hurt more so than the program. The fans, they live and die in Nebraska football. That's all they have there, and they take pride in Nebraska football. So the last 4 years, it's been tough on them, and I'm just happy that Tom Osborne came back to revamp that program, to make sure it's going in the right direction. And bringing Bo Pelini back was a perfect guy for that job, because he understands the history, he understands the tradition, and he's hardcore. He's one of those coaches that's not going to take any crap from any of the players, and he's a disciplinary. So the guys are definitely on the right track. The program is back on track, and it's good to see.
Roger, it is great having you on Open Sports page and opensports.com, and Mike Levy and Don and all the guys. Very lucky to have you here, buddy. Look forward to a terrific football season together.
I can't wait, man. It's going to be exciting. This year is going to be a great year for the NFL and just for football in general.
Absolutely. Well, welcome again to opensports.com. Roger, we'll talk again real soon, buddy.
Thanks, Sid.
You got it. There he is, one of the all-time greats, Roger Craig, who spent years at the end of his career in Minnesota. He was out on the West Coast as well, but those years in San Francisco, every single year he made it to the playoffs, and every single year he was a threat. There's still plenty more to come here on the OSP. When Amber and I get back, we'll take a look, of course, at what's burning up the back pages. More OSP right after these words.
So you think you can tackle a pro? There's only one way to find out. Click on fantasy at opensports.com.